Well, as we've been reporting, we are following Benjamin Netanyahu's trip to the White House, where he has been meeting with Donald Trump. He is the first foreign leader to make that visit. And just in the last half an hour or so, we saw these images of Donald Trump welcoming Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House. I have with me our International Affairs editor, Dominic Waghorn, who is here with us for more analysis. And Dom, one of the things that Donald Trump did ahead of Netanyahu's arrival was sign a series of executive orders, almost in this symbolic way of sort of which indicated to us, the priorities of this meeting. No doubt Iran was top of the agenda. We've spoken a little bit about how, the Israelis expect or hope that Donald Trump will handle Iran during his presidency. But just in the last week or so, you have been to Tehran, a very rare trip. The last time Sky News, I think, was in Tehran was like 13 years ago. And you sat down exclusively with the foreign minister. Just give us a sense of how they sort of approach the idea of a Trump presidency and their dealings with Donald Trump and their attitudes towards how the Israelis will be dealing with Donald Trump.
Yeah, the first time we've been there for 8 years, but the first time we broadcast from there in 15 years, I think. So it gives a sense of it's a very hard country to get into, and I think a sense of a changing mood there and a sense that the Iranian government feel they have to get their message out because they have this man in the White House who has been seen as their arch nemesis. Donald Trump reneged on the nuclear deal, ripped up America's signature on it in 2018, but also killed Qasem Soleimani, their great sort of heroic leader of what they call the Axis of Resistance. But he's now in the White House and he's saying a couple of things. He's saying he wants to have a nuclear deal on his terms. Didn't like the first deal that was done by Barack Obama. But he wants to have a deal. It would be nice to have a deal, but he says he would prefer that to what he might have to do instead if there is no deal, which is to support Israel striking Iran's its nuclear facilities, which the West believes to be military. So the Iranians are sitting there knowing that they've got this happening, they've got this double-edged message from Washington, but also knowing that they are at the weakest they've been for a long, long time. They've seen that axis of resistance, its leaders, its forces decimated, Hamas weakened, Hezbollah weakened, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah assassinated, Bashar al-Assad, their great ally in Syria, toppled from power, but also at home domestically they're very weak as the economy, 50% inflation. And in that sort of round of missiles that we saw last year, the Israelis in their latest attack probably completely dismantled, or certainly they claim to have dismantled Iran's air defences. So they're very exposed. So going into that meeting, Israel's Prime Minister is under pressure from those in Israel. So you've gone on about this Iranian threat for years, as Mark Stone was saying there. This is the golden moment. We will never have an opportunity like this to strike Iran. And the Iranians I was talking to are well aware of that. And therefore, from Abbas Araghchi, the Iranian foreign minister, we had this stark warning saying it would be a very bad disaster for the region if Israel and America were to strike Iran. And he said it's such a crazy idea, he actually doesn't take it very seriously as a threat. But also saying that, yes, maybe they are open to listening to Donald Trump. So a glimmer of possibility there from the Iranians. And ahead of this meeting with Netanyahu, we had Donald Trump saying, yes, a deal would be a nice idea, but also he will strike Iran if necessary.